I'm coming to you from Rockefeller Plaza in Midtown Manhattan to do something tourists do, but I'm sure few native New Yorkers have done. Be an outdoor audience member for a national morning show. I'm Zion the Lion for Access NYC, but first, this is Today on NBC. The Today Show was the first breakfast morning news program in the world. Premiering on January 15, 1952, NBC's Today was first hosted by Dave Garroway. It set the tone for the morning news format all across the world. Today has dominated the genre, receiving its first real competition in the form of ABC's Good Morning America, beginning in the 1970s. Initially 2 hours long from 7 to 9 a.m., the program added a third hour in 2000 and a fourth in 2007. As typical of morning news, the first hour is news-oriented, with the remaining hours being heavily human interest and entertainment focus. Currently, the program's primary anchors are Hoda Kotb and Savannah Guthrie. What makes a news program stand out is not just its content, but its hosts. Today's anchor desk has been occupied by several big names, such as Barbara Walters, who became the first female to ascend to co-anchor status, Bryant Gumbel, the first black host of the show, and Jane Pauley, who now hosts CBS Sunday Morning, Deborah Norville, who now hosts Inside Edition, Matt Lauer, and Katie Couric. Hosts of the Today program get to host NBC morning time coverage of events like the Thanksgiving Day Parade, the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting, nod to a future video, British royal weddings, and the Olympics.
There's corruption. You never read The Secret History? Oh, yeah. And your lives are changed forever. The Secret History is celebrating its 30th anniversary, which is unbelievable. Donna Tartt is one of my favorite writers.
Today recently turned 70. As you can imagine, the program has been on the air for some incredible historic events.
There is shock, anger, and humiliation in America this morning because of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. In some Negro ghettos, there was looting, arson, and bloodshed.
The nation awaits the swearing in at noon Eastern Time of our 38th President, Gerald Ford, and the departure from political life of Richard M. Nixon.
This entire half hour will be devoted to the murder of John Lennon, ex-Beatle, one of the best-known musicians and most influential people of his time. 52 American hostages stepping out of an Algerian jet and into the glare of television cameras, free of Iran for the first time.
Great story here for anybody willing to find it and write about it and explain it. Is this vast right-wing conspiracy that has been conspiring against my husband since the day he announced for president.
Finally, a president-elect. George W. Bush will become the 43rd president of the United States.
As Matt just mentioned, we have a breaking news story to tell you about. Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center here in New York City. It happened just a few moments ago.
Donald J. Trump will be the next president of the United States.
Like much of television news, Today has been no stranger to the increasing tabloidization of soft news content. But The program remains a staple in the breakfast routine of millions of Americans, waking them up with the country's news. Currently, we're at the street side Studio 1A, right across the street from 30 Rockefeller Plaza, also known as the Comcast Building. The Today program first originated from a newsroom set in the RCA Exhibition Hall on West 49th Street in Manhattan. The space is now occupied by Christie's Auction House, just down the block from the present-day studio. In the 1960s, Today had a street-side studio in the space then occupied by the Florida Showcase. The morning show returned to the 30 Rock Building in 1965 until finally going back to a street-side studio in 1994 with the debut of where we are today, Studio 1A. The window that you're looking at the anchors through has been dubbed the window on the world, allowing news talent to look at a sample of the audience they're broadcasting to in real time. Studio 1A largely began the trend of new street-side studios and outdoor audiences on TV. Shows like The Early Show and Good Morning America have followed the format. Jim Parsons is on the program right now, Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. So right now the outdoor portion of the program has wrapped up. The remaining 2 hours of the program are filmed entirely inside, or at least inside for the most part, so the crews are just wrapping everything up. They tell audience members come for 6 a.m., but really and truly anchors don't come outside till about 8:30. Well, that's it from Rockefeller Plaza, home of the Today Show, the first morning news program in the world. And look across the street. The Rockefeller Center Christmas tree is just days away from being lit up. I'm Zion the Line for Access NYC. As always, like, subscribe, and share.